I was working a lot of hours, and I was going through this process of helping everybody figure out their purpose for money. And I really started to intentionally do that process in my own life. Hey, this is Tim Whalen, creator of Purpose Playbooks. I need to make sure that I'm clear about a few things before we get started.
Yeah.
I am a financial planner, but I will never give investment advice or recommend any investment products in this show or in any other public space.
I'm not talking about that.
Everyone has a different financial situation, and you should never implement any investing strategy, product, or advice without consulting a qualified financial professional.
And I hope you guys feel the same doggone way I feel.
This podcast is purely for educational purposes only. There are more disclosures at the end of the podcast.
What else do you want to know?
Enjoy the show. Welcome to Purpose Podcast. I'm Tim Whalen. Today we're talking about the origin story, how I decided to create Purpose Playbooks, and why I'm passionate about helping 5,000 people to discover their purpose for money by 2025. So my background is in education. My first 3 years out of college after student teaching were in a public high school in a little town called Dansville, Michigan. I loved my time there and really enjoyed the role of being a teacher. Not necessarily all the paperwork and things like that, all the requirements for certain things by the state, but I really did enjoy the process of teaching. But that being said, I did end up leaving the world of teaching, and I joined the local Churchill mortgage branch. I joined the mortgage business, and my branch manager there was a guy named Evan Vanderway. And he was probably the best mentor that a young guy could have getting into the financial world. And one of the things that Evan taught me how to do was how to take someone through a process to discover their purpose for money. And that became really important even in the mortgage business, because what I wanted to do was connect people, have them connect their purpose, their deepest values with the goals that they had. And I oftentimes found that people hadn't really thought about this. They kind of have a general sense of what was important to them and what they wanted to do, but without spending some intentional time to try to connect the two of those things, I found that people were oftentimes very, very unclear about what they really wanted. And so by helping people to discover their purpose for money, it really helped to clarify the decision-making process, even in the mortgage business, as people were trying to evaluate what house or what kind of mortgage to do. So as I helped clients in the mortgage business, I also ran these seminars that Evan helped me to craft, and they were about discovering purpose for money and then connecting that to the goals that they had. And this was one of my favorite parts of the mortgage business, being able to talk to people in a group and then also one-on-one to help them to understand that idea of purpose and how it connected to their overall goals. But if you know anything about the mortgage business, the mortgage business can be a grind. There's a lot of elements that are really time sensitive. You've got clients that have movers that are scheduled for certain times, realtors that are dealing with the realtors on the other side of the deal. You have underwriters that want to make sure the file is squeaky clean, and so you have a lot of elements that you have to keep moving. And especially if you're helping a lot of families at the same time, it can become really overwhelming. And so I was working a lot of hours, and I was going through this process of helping everybody figure out their purpose for money. And I really started to intentionally do that process in my own life. And one of the things I realized is that I didn't want my life 10 to 15 years from that point to look how it did at the time. Because I didn't want to have kids that are in middle school or high school that had a dad that was always at work. And so one of the things that I did, I transitioned careers, and one of the things that I did when I made the switch was I started Purpose Playbooks, and I founded that with the goal of helping 5,000 people to get clarity about their purpose for money and connect it with their goals by 2025. So it's a process that I've gone through myself. It actually caused me to make this big career shift in my life, and I've seen it have a major impact on the lives of others. And so what I'd encourage you to do is join the process. Now, at our homepage, there's a place where you can take an assessment and figure out where you are in your financial journey, and it'll help you to figure out exactly where to plug into, because I'm going to help you to discover your purpose for money. And then whether it's, trying to just get your footing financially, or something more complex, like trying to figure out your legacy piece and how to steward your money to make an impact on future generations. Whether you're there or there, I want to make sure that you have what you need. So go ahead and take that assessment, and you will get access to the Money Purpose Masterclass, which is the process that I've gone through myself and that I've taken many people through in the past with these seminars that I've done. I think you'll really enjoy it, and I look forward to meeting with you. The opinions and views expressed here are for informational purposes only. This material is educational in nature and should not be deemed as a solicitation of any specific product or service. All investments involve risk and a potential loss of principal. We don't provide legal, accounting, or tax advice, but happily coordinate our services and work together with our clients' professional advisors. For specific assistance, the services of an appropriate professional should be sought. Securities offered through the ON Equity Sales Company, member FINRA SIPC. One Way Financial, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45242. Phone number 513-794-6794. Investment advisory services offered through ON Investment Management Company.